This is Sad Boy Radio.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Sad Boy Radio. Today I got a new Spanish guest. He's a friend of a former guest, Abel. So go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
What's up, yo? I'm Adam Martinez. I'm an artist. I make music in English and Spanish. Yeah, my man Matt reached out to me to come do a podcast, and I said, let's do it.
Yeah, he's about to blow up, bro. He's got like 50K streams in Ecuador right now. Shit.
Just Ecuador. Nowhere else.
Hey, fuck it. Yeah, 6ix9ine started somewhere overseas that he blew up, like the Netherlands or some shit. I don't fucking know. Yeah, he blew up in Europe before he blew up here.
Damn.
Today, we're going to talk about life, I guess, right? Mid-20 crisis you talked about.
Mm-hmm.
When life was simple, kind of, right? When you didn't have all the stress and pressure of being an adult. Yeah, that shit fucks you up.
Definitely, bro.
You had mentioned to me the midlife crisis. Well, not midlife, but, quarter life crisis.
Yeah, mid-20 life crisis.
Trying to figure shit out. So talk about that. What kind of stresses have been on your mind lately, bro?
Well, it's just different, bro. Like, when I started making music, I was in high school. So, like, it was just more messing around and, like, figuring your shit out. And then, obviously, the further along you get, there's a little more pressure to get your shit together, whether it's, like, from bills or it's like, man, why aren't I famous yet? or why am I still living at home with my mom? Just shit like that, And so it's a pressure because it's like, I see friends and other cousins and stuff who maybe have their stuff more figured out. They went to school and got like a real straight degree, whether it was like, something in medical school or something. I was like, damn, I should have done something like that. But I knew going into music that it was going to be a risk and that nothing's guaranteed. Some people make it faster than others. So, I'm 25 now and it's just sort of like, man, when is something going to give, when am I going to start making money off this or stuff like that. But, it's not discouraging. I love making music. Even if it weren't my career, I would still be doing it. But it's just stuff like that, man,
It's always tough, bro, because like you said, you're always kind of focusing on what other people are doing, how fast other people are doing it. And that's just the kind of stuff that stays on your mind. I always think about the end goal rather than the process. And it's always the hard part because, yes, I just want to be there, right? I just want to be at the top already. I want to be able to interview whoever I want to interview. I want to say, hey, I made it. And it's just like the song, Successful, Drake and Trey Songz, right? Because, right off the bat, Drake first started, bro. He's saying, I want them, or Trey Songz said, I want the money in the cars in the clothes, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
And the hoes, but that's the clean version. That's the dirty version. But yeah, bro, it's all that stuff you want in life, and you want to just be able to say, damn, I'm successful already, right?
Definitely.
And success has a different measure for everybody, whether that's, happiness, financial, or just literally the definition of being the best, right?
Mm-hmm. Saying I made it means something different to everyone else. And to me, it doesn't necessarily mean, the fucking mansion on the hills with the 8 Lamborghinis in the garage. Like, honestly, I don't need that. I just want to be able to live comfortably on my own, support myself, support my family. And whether that means, having millions of dollars or not, like, that ultimately doesn't matter to me. But to have music be my job and the way I make a living, to me, that's making it, where I don't need to go work at some shitty, restaurant or whatever to keep supporting myself. So that's making it to me.
That's dope, bro. And I think that a lot of artists do have that mindset where, it's just about the music. Even if they have 100,000 fans and those 100,000 fans support them to where they don't got to be struggling, that's what matters to them, Yeah. A lot of the times I think about, like I said, when life was easier, because those stresses and pressures of going forward, becoming the best thing that you can possibly be, it's overwhelming a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it just stresses you out for no fucking reason. So I think about songs like, Young, Dumb, and Broke or Young, Wild, and Free.
All the young songs.
Yeah, right? Literally all the young songs, because it takes you back to a time where, I don't know if the songs you got in mind are different than me, but it takes you back to a time where I was in high school and shit was just, I was worrying about college. I was worrying about the scholarships, but I guess life seemed easier.
Yeah.
Where all I had to worry about was, damn, which girl is going to break my heart next?
Sad Boy Radio.
For real. Hey, Sad Boys for real, bro. And we didn't get this title for no reason.
Oh, shit. Makes sense now.
It's just that type of shit that I think about. So how about for you? What kind of songs was it for you, or what kind of moments do you think about when you were younger that just make you feel stress-free?
Damn. It's funny you mentioned songs when you were younger, because I've been I made a playlist recently, like a private one for myself. That's like songs that I grew up on. But there's specifically ones in Spanish because I'm trying to practice my Spanish and like get more in that world. There's this one song by Juanes. Do you know Juanes?
Yeah.
Do you like him or no?
For the most part, yeah.
Here on the radio.
La Camisa Negra.
Ooh, that's my jam. Yeah, like that song or like Es Por Ti. I don't know if you know that one.
Probably not.
But like I grew up on the songs, man. Like my oldest brother used to play them all the time, and when I listen to them, because I can have headphones on at work. When I put those songs on while I'm working, bro, it makes the day like go so much smoother. And I just think about just music in general, bro. It lifts you up, and like those songs specifically take me back to when I was younger, and you know didn't have to worry about bills and shit. I don't know, songs like that. I have 3 older brothers, so like to me it was like whatever they were playing in the house that I grew up on. And so it takes me back to that stuff, man.
Yeah, see, it's different for me because I'm the second oldest, but my older brother wasn't like big on music.
Oh no.
So it was whatever music I was listening to, everybody else caught on to. I don't know. A lot of the times it's just songs that I love. R&B, bro. I love bachata. There were a lot of bachata songs when I was younger, like young, that I wasn't able to like Google or anything. It was just like I heard later in my life, and I'm like, oh shit, I think I know this song.
Right.
And it's a lot of the Spanish songs, like Mi Corazoncito by Aventura.
Nice.
Obsession, like shit like that. It was always, my parents did not listen to bachata.
No.
Not until I started listening to it. My mom
Put your mom on.
My mom was like, oh, I don't like this music. And then I started listening to it, and she's like, oh, put Romeo on.
Sheesh. Put your whole family on. Damn. That was a total opposite, bro. Total opposite. And it's funny because all my 3 different brothers, they had like complete different taste in music. Like my oldest one was like Juanes or like a lot of mariachi music. The one under him was like rap and hip hop, and the one under him was like R&B and pop. And so that's why I feel like I naturally can make all that. I mean, less hip hop than anything because I'm not a rapper, but I'm a producer too, and I love producing hip hop beats. But I feel like that's why I gravitated towards all different genres, because I just grew up with all of them, you know, around my house.
Yeah.
But I was the youngest, so like whatever they put on, bro, I like that song.
It really be like that sometimes. But yeah, man, you know, those times they were just simpler. You especially for you, you didn't have to make the decisions. Someone just put it on and said, hey, this is what you like.
Hell yeah. Yeah, exactly, bro. I'm like, would I even like this music if I wasn't, you know, if I was an only child or something? I wonder what I would have been listening to then.
For real. Life's like about the what ifs, right? But that's a whole nother topic.
It's a whole other podcast.
Who do you feel like is your biggest influence then? You know,
Musically?
from musically, and from your family in that case.
Well, like artist-wise, man, there's so many, bro. The one artist that always comes to mind is Bruno Mars. He's one that inspired me to make music.
Yeah, you look like him.
I'll take it. I don't agree, but I'll take it. Yeah, dude. So Bruno Mars was like, and to this day, like he's my number 1 favorite artist, bro. I don't know if do you like his music?
Hell yeah, I love Bruno Mars, bro. Bro, I saw him at Lala, but I lost the videos because I lost my phone that year. I was so fucking upset, bro.
I seen him in concert once. And it's so cool, man, because you go to the concert. I mean, I'm sure Lala was different, but when you go to like his actual concert, there's so many different people there, bro. There's like parents, there's young kids, there's people in their 20s. Like it's like all different walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that makes his music like really special. Like he really figured out how to market his music to everybody.
He's a performer, bro. And it's known that he's a performer, you know? When you talk to somebody about Bruno Mars, they're like, damn, he puts on a really good show.
Oh, yeah, dude, that man's an entertainer. That's what I say. Like, from dancing to producing to playing instruments to singing, all of it, bro. But there's more artists beyond that. Like Juan, as I mentioned, like lately he's been inspiring the shit out of me. You know John Bellion?
I've heard of him, yeah.
He's a lesser known one, but his production is like insane. So just a lot of different artists, man. But Bruno Mars is like the one I always think about.
With music, it always evokes different types of emotions, especially depending on who it is, what the production's like, what the writing's like. It's crazy how different shit can be, right? Because I think about Bryson Tiller and how a lot of the times the production's really hard, but sometimes you gotta really focus on what he's saying. Kanye can literally say fucking nothing in his songs, but the way his beats make you feel, the way the production makes you feel, it's just like, fuck.
Yeah, scoop the whoop, bro. Scoop the poop.
And that beat was supposed to go to Drake. Like, all that fucking beef for over a fucking beat because Kanye was just being a dick.
Hey, that beat's so hard, though, bro. But I don't know what the hell he's saying.
Yeah, the sample on it is dope.
Yeah.
But shit like that, right? There's so many different things in music. Like, Trey Songz makes a completely different type of music than somebody like, say, Adele, right? but there's different emotions that are just meant to fucking come out from each song. That's one of the things I think about all the time, where I listened to a song when I was younger, right? And it just reminds me of that time. And there's an interview with Drake where Drake talks about it, where people are like, oh, this don't sound like the old Drake, or, oh man, I miss the old you. And he mentions it. He's like, it's not that you miss what I'm making, it's that you miss what the song I made you feel. The time in your life that you were at. Whereas, where he's talking about, like, that girl that you were talking to at that time when this song came out, I can't bring that back, but I can make new music that's going to create new memories for you.
I disagree and agree with him. You were mentioning, that's what Drake said?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like, I don't know, like someone like The Weeknd, like his music now is so different from what it was back then. And I support artists changing their sound, because that's what I do all the damn time, bro. If you go back to the first project I dropped, that shit was like a Motown record.
Yeah.
I don't make anything near Motown anymore. It's not because I don't love it anymore, but I just felt like making something different, So I think the audience also has the right to say, like, I miss the way it used to sound. Because I think artists, we change, bro, We have different ways to convey those energies and those feelings. Like, I think The Weeknd has every right to make, like, dark pop music like he does now. It's, like, really 80s. It's, like, nothing like what he used to make, I think the topics are. I think what he writes about is very similar, but his music sounds worlds apart from what it used to.
I feel that. I definitely feel that. I think that there are some songs that The Weeknd brings out hints of what he used to sound like, or throw in, like the hums or the echoes, shit like that. That's really what people, I feel like that's what people think, oh, this is what the old Weeknd sounds like, you know what I'm saying, where he has all the dark production in the background. Just like you said, the topics are pretty much the same, it's just a different way of delivering it.
Exactly. I forgot who said this quote. It's not what you sing or write about, it's how. Like Drake songs, he writes, honestly, Drake has a lot of different shit and songs. Like, he's an artist to me that, like, that man does it all. He sings, he raps, hard shit, sad shit, like literally everything.
But moving forward, bro, you know what? Sad Boy Radio took on Drake, took on The Weeknd, took on Bruno Mars. Shit. Let's talk about some other shit, right? As far as your 20s, right? Because this is your mid-20 crisis. What have your 20s taught you up till this point?
Well, my mind gravitates to music all the time. So when I started making music, I used to do it exclusively, like, just by myself and with the help of my brother. Like, me and him would just produce and write it all. And I used to be sort of like prideful and like, I want to just write it all and produce it all and everything. And there was this moment, it was a month before COVID happened, actually, where I went to this songwriting camp. That's where I met Abel. And it was one of the first moments where, like, I really got to collab with other artists that weren't my brother, or, like, a friend that lived 2 blocks away from me. It was like different people that I didn't even know. It was awesome, man. Like, I was able to let go and, like, really realize that there's other people like me, like the way they write and the way they hum melodies of gibberish. It's like, oh shit, you do that too? That's how you get ideas then? That's what I do. And so that was like a really great teaching moment, because ever since then, man, I just love to collaborate. Like, if you go towards my older stuff, Spotify gives you the option. Do you use Spotify or Apple?
I use both. Depends on the day.
If you go on Spotify, I don't know if Apple has the feature, but you can click those 3 dots and go to song credits, and it'll show you, like, who wrote it, who performed it, who produced it. And if you go to all my older stuff, it was just like me and my brother, me and my brother, me and my brother. And now you see other people in there, whether it's Abel or Johnny Carter, or like just all different artists helping me out now. I think it makes the music better. They're going to write something that you would have never thought of. Musically, that's what I feel like over the past couple of years, I've really learned to appreciate.
It's always hard bringing people into your world,
Yeah.
Especially when you've always been kind of a private person. I don't know if you've been a private person your whole life, but
It depends on what about,
Yeah. The thing for me is, like, when we first started this show, it was only people that we knew, right? People that were exclusive to the Blue Door Studios brand. Whereas now, I try my best to go out there, find someone new, find someone that's going to bring a different take to the table. It's always an experience, and it's always fun for me, because you're interacting with people that you really never thought you'd be able to have the chance to do so, right?
Yeah.
Especially creating something like this, because it's just different, I'm sure like, think about it. 5 years ago, do you think you would have been collaborating with all these different artists? I don't know, maybe for you it's different, right? Because you just performed that show with Abel too. You've been collaborating with a lot of friends, and I know that's something that you mentioned to me, so touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like if it weren't for music, I probably wouldn't. Well, I definitely would have never reached out to Abel. Like, I would have had no reason to be like, hey, let's hang out, whatever, you know? He was a grade over me in high school, and he was into sports. I wasn't. But music brought us together, and then through music, we found out, oh, we do have a lot in common, you know? Not just in the music we like, but, like, after our show at Sonido Fest, we were all hanging out at his place, and his parents were there. And I was talking to his dad, and it turns out, like, his dad knew my dad, and, like, he used to listen to his music. You know, I was like, what the fuck? Like, we would have never known that. You know, and it's like that brought us closer. Like, oh shit, man, like our dads used to, you know, they wouldn't like hang out, they weren't like friends, but like they knew of each other, you know. And like that was a really cool moment. And in Chicago, where like where me and Abel are pursuing music now, it's just sort of like continuing that legacy. And I don't know, I felt like a really cool moment that like we would have never known otherwise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that history, bro.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that your dad was an artist as well.
Mm-hmm.
You also said your granddad was an artist.
Yeah.
So which one was more famous, bro?
The battle. Yeah, so my grandpa was from my mom's side. So
Well, hold on. Which one do I got to talk to? You know, which one do I got to bring on a sad boy radio?
well, they're neither of them are with us today. So
Oh, man, I'm sorry.
unless you can record beyond our world, now you're good, bro. It was a long time ago. My dad passed away in 2006. It's been a while, bro. It's been a while. And I'm totally cool talking about it. But yeah, dude, my dad was big in Chicago, like during the 70s, and my grandpa was one of the first like mariachi groups to come to Chicago, and that must have been the 40s or some shit, 50s.
Dang.
Not 40s. I think it was too young, maybe 50s. But yeah, bro, so there's like a legacy here in Chicago, you know, whether it's through my mom's side or my dad's side. But to answer your question, my dad was definitely more famous than my grandpa.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my oldest brother was in the newspaper when he was born. Like it was like that level. And the way Abel's dad was cool talking to Abel's dad, he was describing it to me as like, you know, because my dad's band would perform at gigs or like quinceañeras or weddings, you know, whatever. And so they would ask like, oh, who's performing today? It's like, oh, Los Aristocratas de Chicago. Oh shit, you got them? It was like that, like, oh shit, you know, you got the big dogs. So it was cool, man. It was like cool to hear that. And I've known that from like the stories that my mom and my aunts tell, but it was cool hearing it from someone else that was removed from my family.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just cool, man. It feels amazing to continue that tradition and that legacy, and like hopefully I can get to that level, and hopefully I can get to beyond it, you know. And it's something that I take very seriously, and like that's why I'm so passionate about music.
Mm-hmm. So what's something you hope to accomplish in honor of them?
Man, there's a lot I would love to. Man, you know what? One thing was, do you know Juan Gabriel?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he passed away a few years ago.
Yeah.
So he actually knew my dad. There's a picture of them together. They were homies before Juan Gabriel was famous. One of my dreams was always to like, you know, make it big and then talk to Juan Gabriel about my dad and like, yo, I'm his son.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact he would remember. And so stuff like that sucks because like all these older artists who my dad loved, they're like passing away. Like, you know, Vicente Fernandez isn't doing so good right now. So it's like, fuck. Besides stuff like that, like through the people he knew, I think just making it in music, bro, and like, I don't know, winning a Grammy or like performing at Allstate Arena, just stuff like that. Like I know my dad would be proud as fuck just seeing me make the songs that I'm making, you know. So like I think what I'm doing right now is like more than enough to honor them, but obviously it's like the bigger I get and the further I get along, like there's gonna be moments where I'm like, damn, I know they would love this shit.
Yeah, bro. And you're on the path to doing that. That's what's dope.
Thank you, bro.
All right, bro. Moving forward, we'll probably come back to the topic in a little bit, but you know, we wouldn't be Sad Boy Radio without talking about relationships, bro. You did mention it to me. I think that's a very heavy topic, especially when you're in your 20s, because you got so much shit you're dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
When you add another person to it, it's a task. It's kind of a chore.
Yeah. Well, depends how much you like her. You know?
Shit.
That's always been the main struggle of relationships for me, at least, you know, since I've been pursuing music, is like, and it depends on the girl too. Some want to spend more time with you than others, and some understand it and are okay with, you know, seeing them once a week or whatever. It's definitely hard to balance though, man. And it was really hard, especially when I was in college, because I had a job, college, girlfriend, and music. It was like I hardly had time for myself.
It's tough, bro, because you're always, I don't know, it's something that I've been running into lately a lot, where I don't have time. I just don't fucking have time.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get somebody to understand that, but when they do, it's dope. But it's also like, I don't know, man. Sometimes it'd just be easier if I cut everybody off, fucking focus on what I gotta do, and when the time's right, you know what I'm saying?
For sure. No, I get you, man. I'm the type that, like, I don't really look for it, like, you know, going on Tinder or whatever. Like, whatever happens for me. You know, if I meet a girl or if I... In school, it was easier because you'd have class and, like, oh, she's cute, and then start talking or whatever. And then, like, now that I'm working from home, if it's not, like, performing at a show or going out to eat with friends or something, it's like I'm hardly even going out.
Shit, when we hitting the club, bro.
Sad boy radio, baby.
Sad boy radio takes on the club every weekend.
Nah, but I mean, it's different, man. Like, I actually like when a girl can understand, like, let me just see you on Saturdays or like once a week. Like, I like, it gives me time to miss her, and like, you know, we're not just hanging out and like doing nothing. You know, we go do something fun, and like I kind of look forward to like, oh, Saturday's our day or whatever.
I feel that.
That's me anyway.
Yeah. It's my problem is I like you to want to hang out, right? It's like that urgency to want to see me. So if you're okay with like only seeing me once a week, for me it's like it's discouraging. I'm like, fuck, why don't you want to see me more than once a week? For real. Yeah, that sounds kind of dumb, but yeah, that's kind of me. And then, you know, a lot of girls, they like for you to make the plan. And I'm like, bro, you make the plan, I'll drive. I don't give a fuck. Just make the plan.
Really? It's easy, bro. I don't know. For me anyway, I'm like, the thing that I've learned, bro, is like girls just appreciate effort. Whether it's like, it could be as simple as like, hey, I need to go buy a shirt for a wedding. At least the girls that I have to like are so happy to tag along, and like just that you're doing something, you thought of them, you pick them up type shit, you know?
Listen, bro, you haven't listened to Sad Boy Radio enough. All I'm saying is if I don't like her enough, because, you know, there's girls that you like a lot, and there's girls that are, like, just there, right?
For sure.
I just haven't found somebody that I like enough to be like, you know what? Let me go drive 20 minutes in the opposite direction to pick them up, and then we'll go actually do some shit, you know what I'm saying?
In the other opposite direction of where you're supposed to go.
So that's the predicament I've fallen into, where I'm like, it's not worth it.
I feel you, bro.
I did have a question for you, by the way, bringing this up.
Mm-hmm.
How do you decide who you're going to give your energy to? That can be played into relationships. It can be played into relationships with your friends, who you collaborate with, all of that stuff.
When it comes to girls, I've never been the type to like make someone my girlfriend if I'm not that into them. That's just me. Like I'm not about to bring you home to my family if I feel like it's not gonna work out in the end, you know? I feel like I'm so passionate about music, and I feel like it bleeds into everything else. Like I have to be passionate about you to spend my time with you, you know? And that goes with my friends too, or like other musicians that want to collab. Like I've had people hit me up that want to collab, and like I don't know, I feel like they don't take music seriously enough, or their output is consistent enough. And my output isn't the best either, but like I don't know, there's an energy that I get. Like I feel like you're just fucking around, and like I don't have time to just fuck around.
Fact.
It goes back to like I'm 25. Like if I'm gonna make a song, it's gonna be to want to do something with it, you know, whether it's putting it out or giving it to someone else. Like I'm very focused on like, why are we making music here? Music can be fun, and I'm not. It's not to say I don't have sessions where like, you know, we make a song and then nothing happens with it. You know, that's gonna happen regardless. But I love the mission of like, let's try to make a banger. Let's try to make something that people are gonna love. You know, There's no better feeling, bro, than like making a song and you're just like, oh, I can't wait to drop this, or I can't wait for people to hear it.
That's funny because, man, you know how many times you just go into the studio? It feels like every time you go into the studio and you make something good, you're like, damn, this is a banger. This is gonna drop. This is gonna be hard. And then you fucking finally release it, and you're like,
shit sucks. Nah, it's less the shit sucks. I'm like, by the time the song comes out, you're a little tired of it. Not tired of it, but it's like old, you know, like, man, I made this shit 6 months ago. But then you kind of give it a new life, because then I like to put myself in the shoes of like someone who's never heard it. And I love getting feedback of like, oh my God, I love your new song. And it's like, I don't have to bump it to enjoy it. The fact that other people are bumping it are making me feel like, yeah, man, I did something there. You know what I mean?
And that's what I think about like with the show, right? Where this is your first time experience this space, your first time being on the show and just taking in the vibe, right? Whereas this is like my 26th time or some shit like that, where it feels like for you it's new, it's a new experience. For me, it's like it's a new experience with a new person, but it's like the vibe in the room, the lights. It's like, all right, this is my space. You know what I'm saying? I just thought about that today, where I'm like, man, you know, I want to make people feel comfortable in my space. It's kind of like your home, right? When you have someone in your home, you want to make sure that they're taken care of.
For sure.
You know, they're treated like a guest, because that's honestly what it's like. And that's something new that's kind of hitting me at the moment.
No, definitely. And it's funny because when you have a music session with someone that you've never met, there's this weird pressure like, oh, I hope I make something good today, bro, because if I don't, they're going to think I suck, you know?
They're going to think I'm whack.
Right. And that's the thing with music, bro. Like, I say all that not to say that, you know, you can't have sessions where shit doesn't happen because, like I said, it's just going to happen, bro. I've had plenty of sessions, even with Abel or whoever. Like, we fuck around. It's like, oh, well, I'm not really feeling this, you know? You can't guarantee a hit every time. But it's like you try to hit it, you know? And with a new person, it's like if they don't really know you and it's the first time and that happens, it's like fuck. So I like to go into sessions with either like a beat already, like yo, I made this vibe, or even if it's just like the guitar chords already, like yo, I have this vibe going. I like to do that because then it sort of gives you like a really good head start.
What kind of energy do you feel like you're bringing in? How do you you just kind of answered the question I did have for you. How do you make sure that you bring your piece to the table?
Yeah, no, because it's different for me, bro, because I'm like I produce and I write and I sing and I play instruments, so like it can be any of those things. I've had sessions where someone's running the session already, you know, there's a producer there. Like take Johnny Carter for example. Like the last few sessions I've had with him and Abel, like he's kind of leading the ship. I'll usually contribute, whether it's guitar shit or like I'll start the chords and then he takes it off. You know, like if you look at the Peligrosa video, it's a very back and forth. Like, oh, you should add this. Let me add this real quick. You know, so it all depends, man. It all depends what kind of session it is. Just the other day, I went to Abel's place and I played producer. You know, I'm not on the song. He wanted a certain beat, and so I made it. And so it depends, bro. It's sort of an advantage that I can, you know, if my production's fucking up, I could be like, well, let me help you write it then. You know what I'm saying? So it's cool, man. I've also been working with this guy, Alex Ponce, out in Ecuador. I just dropped a song with him called Derretirme. I'm more of a producer in that role and songwriter because we write the songs together. But like if I don't bring the production, there's probably nothing that's going to be made, you know. He plays guitar and he composes like beautifully, but when it comes to sitting down on the computer and knowing the ins and outs of music production, so it varies, man, artist to artist.
So talk about that record a little bit, bro. You know, that's your new big hit, 50K.
Out in Ecuador.
Shit, only in Ecuador.
Only in Ecuador. It's the only place you can listen to it.
But talk about it, bro. You know, how do you feel about the record doing so well? It's only its first week, right?
Yeah, yesterday was 1 week. It's crazy, man. I mean, you know, I drop songs and I usually don't know what to expect. And when we wrote this one, it was back in like, I want to say May or June. And it's funny, I actually produced this song last November. Before I was even, I don't think I knew him when I made the beat. I went back to it because usually look at my phone's voice memos. I got about 1 million voice memos. And so every now and then I'll like type in keywords and see what pops up. And this specific beat came up and I was like, yo, how come I never did anything with this? I'm like, yo, I want to write some Spanish shit to this. And Alex Ponce has been the guy who's helped me out with that because that's his first language, you know. And thankfully he speaks English because my conversational skills in Spanish aren't the best. So the fact that he can speak English helps us communicate like, this is what I want the song to be about. And I usually come with the topic and like certain phrases that I want to give out, and he'll help me piece it out together. And so for this song, the beat was already done. It was old. And when I showed it to him, he like loved it, bro. Like he's like, oh my God, I've always wanted a song like this. Because in Latin America, I feel like right now the sound is very
different.
Reggaeton or dance hall or, you know, which I love all of it. And I've made plenty of songs like that, and I'm going to continue to do so. It's like a disco pop feel, this song. And you don't really hear that out there. And so to him, it was like, oh shit, this sounds crazy.
I got very popish vibes from it. It kind of reminded me of like Maroon 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what the beat reminded me of.
Yeah, Maroon 5, people have said like Dua Lipa type of vibe, you know. And so I told him like, bro, jump on it. Like you're helping me write it, you know, jump on it. We wrote it in a day because I had all the melodies written out already and the whole beat. And so that man is just so quick with lyrics, bro. Like that man will just, I want to say this, boom, boom, boom. He'll put it down. So we finished it. We recorded it. We knew it was really good, but you know, I've dropped songs that I thought were really good and then, you know, it doesn't perform the way I want it to. So it can go both ways, man. But leading up to the release, Alex is like big on TikTok. He blew it up before the song came out. Like it was charting on.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, I seen that.
We're like, how are people even Shazamming it? It's not even out. It's crazy. And so the day it came out, bro, like I think we did 10K in one day, which I've never. I mean, one of my songs just hit 20K, and that came out in May.
Which one?
Mia. I don't know if you heard that one. It's like a reggaeton track. And so we were like blown away, bro. It was thanks to his TikTok platform, you know? Like he took it to a whole other level that I don't think I could have. And that's what convinced me, like, I got to get it on TikTok. Man, the reach on there is insane.
Shit.
And so, yeah, bro, we released it and And to this day, I think we're about to hit 60K, and we're just grateful, man.
100K, bro. 100K.
Soon, hopefully next week. Fingers crossed. That'll be my first record, 100K.
And
Yeah,
you're gonna have to pop a bottle of champagne.
Yeah, on Sad Boy Radio, exclusive.
So for you, how is recording in Spanish different from English?
It's very different. Well, first off, I mean, English is my first language, so I could just jump in a booth in English and go all day. But with Spanish, like, if it's a song, there's plenty of words in there. Like, damn, how do I approach it? Because I've never really sung that word before, you know? And so there's a lot more, I don't want to say rehearsing, but like practicing going into it. And there's just a different swagger. And it depends on the genre too. This song wasn't too hard to record, but a song like Mia, that was like reggaeton, so there's like a different flow and like it's more rappy and more fast. So it all depends on that too. I have a song called Siempre Me Falla. I don't know if you heard that one. And it's Spanglish, so like...
That was the one right after the first track with Abel, right?
It was before that.
Oh, it was before that? Okay. I've heard it, though, yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, that one was cool because, like, mid-sentence, I'll flip languages. It's literally Spanglish. It's like how I talk to my mom. I'm not the best at Spanish, so when I get stuck, I'll just stick to English. I'll switch to it. So, like, that was the first song that I felt like it's how I speak, but in song form. You know, like, I flip mid-sentence. And it kind of breaks the rules a little bit. I feel like... Maybe some people are like, why is he doing that?
Shout out Aventura. We break the rules.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I felt really cool on that song. Like, oh, shit. Like, I feel like I'm doing something that not a lot of people can do. Flipping 2 languages. So it all depends on what kind of Spanish record, you know, too. So, but that's, like, one in particular. Like, I remember recording it like, man, this is awesome. I love how flippant it is. Because then I have people who don't speak Spanish are like, I love that song. People who only speak Spanish, I love that song. You know, you get these 2 different markets unintentionally. It wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm going to tackle 2 markets. You know, like I just wrote a song that I liked and it just so happened to appeal to like a bigger crowd. Sorry, I know I went on a tangent.
No, you're good, bro. Hey, that's what we're here for. So you could talk about, you know, what you got to talk about what's on your mind, on your heart. That's, like I said, that's what I love about music. It just brings out a different side of people. One thing that I did have written down, it's over here. How many artists talk about, you know, the fakeness in the music industry. So how have you kind of weathered that?
I don't know that I'm deep enough to like, I mean, I've met fake people that give me weird energies and shit, but I don't know that I've been deep enough into the industry like to meet people where I'm like, oh shit. You know, I like to work with people who I can see believe in themselves enough to like really be pushing music. It's the reason I was so attracted to when Abel was dropping music. I'm like, I can tell there's passion here, there's hustle, there's grind. And so when I went in, I mean, look at the Billy Grossa video when we first made that song. Like, we made a whole song in a day. That was our first session together. You know, like, it set up what we have today where it's like, I know we're going to make shit done when we link, you know? And so it's that, you know, it's not necessarily someone's fake, but it's like, what are you bringing to the table? And I don't say that to be mean or anything, but, like, I just don't have enough time to be making music with everybody in Chicago. You know what I mean? Or just anybody in general. Like, what can we make together that's going to be different that I wouldn't be able to make myself?
And just like you mentioned, consistency is key. The consistency of what someone else is going to bring, what you're going to bring, and, you know, so on.
Definitely.
That's why I really appreciate you coming on today, bro, because when you're taking time out of your day to, you know, make an appearance like this, taking your time out of your day to collaborate with somebody, it's always a commitment. And I asked you, you know, in advance. So for you to be able to put that down on your calendar and, you know, come through, I really appreciate that.
Sure, man. I appreciate you inviting me. Like, you know, before I even opened the message, I went to your Instagram and like, oh, this guy's posting pretty frequently. He had Abel on. Like, I could tell it's something you'd like to do, you know, so I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. Like, I don't care how big something is or like how big an artist is, as long as I see like, man, he's really putting in the work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, bro.
Yeah. And like, I'm not a huge artist. Like, I'm a very smart artist. I know I'm very local and like, but I think people can tell when they listen to my music or visit my page, like, Adam lives for this shit.
You definitely got a vibe to it, bro. You got a definite feel. And
thank you.
It's something that you don't see with a lot of smaller artists, right? You take the time to perfect the craft, you take the time to produce it, all of it. From immediately listening, I'm like, all right, this guy's got something different.
I said all that to say, like, I was in that position where like I wasn't seeing a lot of results because when people would visit my shit, it's like, oh, this man hasn't posted a song since last year. Like, Adam's not really an artist. He's just dropping a song every now and then. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I changed that I started seeing more results. And so it's hard though, man. It's a hard thing to do. Drop a song frequently or just do shows even if it's just shows. Like, dropping a song for me is how I stay consistent. But even someone who's just doing a bunch of shows, like, that's consistency to me too. Let's link. You know what I mean? Everyone has their own way of showing that.
Yeah, people don't understand the behind the scenes shit, and that's the tough part. It's like, all right, you see the product, you see what I put out, you know, you decide if it's good or bad, but you weren't there for the process of recording. You weren't there for the process of writing. As you get deeper into it, it's like, damn, I really do all this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the dope thing.
For sure. And you don't have to do all of it. Like, you know, like Abel is a fantastic like writer, performer, but he doesn't produce. But that's fine. You know, like you don't have to wear all the hats in the company. Like, but Abel can hold his own, bro. Alex Ponce can hold his own. You know, Johnny Carter can hold his own. They all know what the fuck they're doing, and they're all really good at it.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I saw a screenshot of a tweet posted on Instagram where they're like, you don't know the real struggle until you're in a room in Cali with 5 people who know how to write, produce, and what was it? Produce, write, and sing or some shit?
Yeah, some shit like, and they're sleeping on the couch in the studio. Yeah, man. That's I've been in those scenarios, bro, where like, oh, you're way too talented. This ain't even fair.
Yeah, bro. Once again, thank you for coming on. And the way we close the show is we talk about an item that holds sentimental value for the artist. So I know I had mentioned it to you earlier. Were you able to think about one?
Yeah, definitely. Someone that's really sentimental is my dad has a bass. It's from the year, what year is it, bro? 64, I think.
Damn, old as hell.
It's an old ass bass, bro, and it's got like scratches and shit. But I don't know if you know anything about it, like guitars and stuff, but like the older it is, the more valuable it is. Not just in like how dope it looks, but like money wise, it's worth a lot. But I've always loved that bass. Not only does it look dope, and not only do they not make those anymore, but the fact that my dad used to perform at shows with it, and like he never told me this story, but he told one of my brothers that like he cried when his dad bought it from, like, because it just meant that much to him. Obviously, I mentioned my dad's not here with me anymore, so like the bass just signifies like I can't wait to perform with that bass, like I don't know, on the Grammys or something, or like MTV Awards, like somewhere big on national television where like that's his bass that he used to play with, you know.
You're gonna win an award with that, bro.
Fingers crossed, man. But yeah, that's definitely like the most sentimental thing I have.
Hey, that's the lucky charm, bro.
Yeah, man. It doesn't leave my house though. Unless it's for the Grammys.
That's why it's not here. Once again, thank you. I really appreciate you coming out. It was a dope conversation, and I really hope to have you back someday.
For sure, man. Likewise. Appreciate you having me on.
For sure, bro. So that's going to be it for Sad Boy Radio. Did you want to mention anything else, bro?
Nah, just thanks for having me, bro. And hopefully I can come back here later and like, yeah, bro, so the Grammys were dope, you know.
For sure. But yeah, go ahead, stream his new song. Go ahead and pronounce it because I'll fuck it up.
Derretirme.
I'll go ahead and post the link in the description below. I'll drop his @. His name is Adam Martinez. Once again, thank you guys for watching this Sad Boy Radio. Peace out.
And it's true, you're the reason for it.
This is Sad Boy Radio.
Y ya no puedo sentir